Welcome to the BBC News. Britain's new Prime Minister, David Cameron, and his new deputy, Nick Clegg, have set to work in Downing Street on the first day of this historic coalition. The Prime Minister has promised that it will be a full and proper coalition between the two parties, and as such, the Lib Dems will get 5 seats in Cabinet. Some Conservative jobs confirmed already. Theresa May is to be Home Secretary and Minister for Women and Equality, and Kenneth Clarke, the Justice Secretary and Lord Chancellor. George Osborne is the new Chancellor. William Hague becomes Foreign Secretary. And the Lib Dems' Vince Cable is expected to be given responsibility for banks and business in the new Treasury team. Our political correspondent Ben Wright reports now on another extraordinary morning in Westminster.
The first day at work for the country's new government. Did Nick Clegg really ever imagine this? His decision to support the Conservatives means that the leader of Britain's third party is now the Prime Minister's number 2. Mr Cameron had already arrived at the office and was ready to greet his new ally. Sealing the deal for the cameras on the steps of number 10. Nick Clegg and David Cameron have conjured up the first coalition government since the Second World War, and this will be the first time since the 30s that Liberals have sat around the cabinet table wielding real power. They've made concessions on policy to make this union work. They're now sharing out the jobs. The question is how durable and happy this new coalition will be. Across Whitehall, new ministers are arriving at their departments. Jobs are being divided between the key players in the two parties, but the top cabinet posts have gone to those closest to Mr Cameron, such as George Osborne, the new Chancellor of the Exchequer. He now has the vital job of driving down the deficit and cutting government spending.
There is going to be a significant acceleration in the reduction of the structural budget deficit. We are also going to stop Labour's jobs tax and send the signal that Britain is open for business. We are going to make reforms to our tax system so that it is fairer for people on lower and middle incomes. And we're going to undertake long-term structural reforms of the banking system.
Among the comings and goings in Downing Street this morning was Liam Fox, the new Defence Secretary, while William Hague is heading to the Foreign Office. Are you happy that the two of you, the Lib Dems and you, are now, eye to eye on foreign policy issues, particularly Europe, where of course there is a gulf between you?
You'll see the agreement later today.
Can you give us a sense of it? I mean, how can you marry your two positions on Europe?
I explained something on the Today programme about that, but you'll see the actual agreement later on. So you'll see that it's married pretty well.
And you think it's going to last?
Oh yeah, it will last for 5 years.
The new Home Secretary is Theresa May, who will also be the Minister for Women and Equality. And Ken Clarke is back in the Cabinet as Justice Secretary. But this will not be a purely Conservative Cabinet, and Liberal Democrats like David Laws are expected to take key jobs too. Chris Huhne is expected to become Energy and Climate Change Secretary, and Vince Cable, who started his political life in the Labour Party, is tipped to have an economic role.
It is a give and take process. As you know, we've big differences with the Conservatives on many issues. We've accepted, of course, they are the larger party within the coalition. But the key point from our point of view is that the main issues within our manifesto have been accepted.
It does feel like a shotgun political wedding, though. Here's the Prime Minister and his deputy 2 weeks ago.
What I'm saying is there is a layer of illegal immigrants who've been caused. We have to deal with it. We have to get them out of the hands of criminals. And you say numbers. Can you now tell me, am I right or wrong, that 80% of people who come here come from the European Union, and your cap would make no difference to that whatsoever? Is that right, yes or no?
We have said
yes or no?
New EU countries should have transition.
But immigration is one of the issues they've compromised on. The Lib Dems now support a cap on the numbers of non-EU migrants allowed to work in the UK. But the Tories have moved a long way on voting reform, promising a referendum. They've also ditched their plan to raise the inheritance tax threshold. The Lib Dems now agree with the Tories that the deficit must start to be cut this year, and the introduction of 5-year fixed-term parliaments could help ensure that their deal sticks. There was nothing inevitable about the hung parliament leading here, and there are plenty of potential fault lines between these fresh political friends. But today marks the beginning of a new way of governing. Ben Wright, BBC News, Westminster.
A new way of governing indeed. Well, I'm joined now by the Liberal Democrat Simon